Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It is the player rating show after Liverpool have just been beaten by Brighton by 1-0. Listen, I'm going to discuss this game in a bit of depth and detail with Ben afterwards in the instant match reaction and stuff. If you want to vote for Kelleher, by the way, this is the show where you guys get to vote for the player ratings. All you need to do is underneath me, it tells you how to do it. Go into the chat, put exclamation mark vote space and then the number out of 10 that you want. Press that enter key and then your vote will be registered. And I don't think that Kelleher did too much wrong tonight, if I'm honest. There was much more senior players that I thought had worse games than the young goalkeeper. Made a couple of decent saves. Don't think there's anything much that he could actually do for their goal. I mean, for me personally, I'd probably put him at something like a 7 out of 10. Couple of good saves. Thought he was calm on the ball, a little bit composed when the ball was played back to him. Some good touches first half. Actually takes a bouncing ball from Trent Alexander-Arnold or Nat Phillips, I think it was. Gets it under control, out with his left foot and stuff like that. Thought he was all right. Thought the kid did nothing wrong, really. And you guys have given him a 7 out of 10 as well. We will open the poll up next for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And Trent didn't have an inherently bad game. He fell into the trap towards the end of the game of just launching crosses in for no reason, and you know there was no reason. I say there was no reason. He was trying to make something happen. There was a couple of really nice balls. Actually, gets one into Mo Salah, and it's all right. But generally speaking, it was, yeah. We'd ran out of ideas at that point, hadn't we? When Trent was throwing the ball in, and I don't think he can. Yeah, it was. Oh man, I'm in such a bad mood about this because it's just like watching the same game over and over from the last few weeks and forget about the 2 wins that we've had and all that type of stuff. We're not seeing the Trent of last season clearly, and I recognise the reasons why. I also think he can play much better than he did tonight. I've seen it from him this season already. I've seen him post-COVID put in better performances. I understand that he's not bombing forwards because he doesn't want to leave Nat exposed. And I thought Brighton played really well tonight, to be honest with you. I think for me it was a bog-standard 6 out of 10 performance, and with just a few seconds left, I can see that everybody else has given him a 6 out of 10 as well, which I think is fair. I'm loving the fact that people seem to be at the moment, as we open up the vote, by the way, for Nat Phillips, people seem to be voting on what they've seen and not just giving them 2s and 3s because we lost at home to Brighton. So I'm really pleased about that. Thank you everybody for getting involved and doing it properly. The vote for Nat Phillips is open, as I mentioned. I thought he was all right, you know, again, and I don't think he's really put a foot wrong in the last 2.5 games. And maybe he has put 1 foot wrong, and maybe that 1 foot was, you know, not getting a proper connection on the ball. And it was tough. It was a tough one. I don't think it was a major mistake that Nat Phillips has made, but you know, ultimately it is touch that takes it on to the defenders. Other than that, the 1 goal in the game that we conceded that was partially his fault. Other than that, I thought he was solid again. Like, he puts his head on things, wins tackles, he's strong in the challenge, and you can see exactly what Nat is and what Nat does. And he's loving this at the moment, isn't he? He's loving the defending. He won't be loving the fact that Liverpool have been beaten at home again, by the way. But he's an all right player, is Nat Phillips. I'm quite happy with Nat and his sort of growth into the side and stuff. And I'm glad that you guys have given him a 7 out of 10 because that's exactly what I would have given him as well. And we're opening up the poll next for Jordan Henderson, as you can see now. So if you do want to vote, just type in exclamation mark vote and then space and then the number and then press that enter key and your vote will be registered and tallied up. So Jordan Henderson, then, I thought he was probably Liverpool's man of the match. I think he did everything second half to try and drag Liverpool forwards, but as soon as we got from the defence to the midfield and the attack, we just ran out of ideas and we just weren't good enough today. And I know there's extenuating circumstances and stuff, and we're going to talk about this in the instant match reaction, but the players on the pitch, these lads are good enough to beat that Brighton side, and these lads didn't perform tonight for me. And that's what it kind of comes down to. And Jordan Henderson did. Jordan Henderson tried his hardest to get Liverpool over the line, try and get something out of it. And some of our most dangerous things actually came from a Hendo long ball. And, you know, it was Mo Salah early on. It's a great ball from Jordan Henderson. It's an early chance, and obviously it would change the complexion of the game completely, but it doesn't go in. And you can't rest on your laurels. You've got to keep playing. And Liverpool just ran out of ideas tonight. And yeah, I think I can see now that everybody's given Jordan Henderson a 7 out of 10 in the chat. I'd have gone slightly higher personally, but Liverpool lost, so I think he's probably absolutely right with that. We've just got a super chat in as we open up the poll for Andy Robertson. Joe Games and I think Takuma should not have left on loan. He can score goals out of nothing, can provide the spark and creativity we need. Create opportunities and goal brilliant is what we need. And listen, it's the players on the pitch, and thank you for the super chat, by the way. And listen, let's talk about Minamino actually, and to pick that super chat up in the instant match reaction, because it is a talking point. People are talking about it. It's therefore a talking point. But Andy Robertson, right? He's missing his mate. He's missing Sadio Mane. I think for me, the link-up play with Shaqiri, it wasn't good. Shaqiri naturally sort of drifts inside and stuff, but not in the same way. And he's not looking to link up with Andy Robertson. Robertson did get forward. He had a few crosses. I don't think he completed the cross tonight, to be honest with you. But defensively, he's okay. And if there's ever a 6 out of 10 performance from Andy Robertson, tonight was it for me anyway. And I can see a few seconds left. We've got 3s, 4s. Is that? Oh no, 4s, 5s and 6s at the moment, and I just thought it was a bog standard 6. I thought Robertson and Trent, not good enough. The 2 centre-halves were really good enough. So 6 out of 10 it is for Andy Robertson anyway. We'll move on then. Gini Wijnaldum, man who was substituted later in the game. Don't forget to get your votes in. Look underneath me. That is how you vote. Gini Wijnaldum, the game kind of passed him by for me. I think I've been really impressed with the Gini Wijnaldum, Thiago, James Milner midfield last couple of games and stuff. But in this one, they looked tired. Jurgen Klopp said it in his post-match press conference, didn't he, pitch side, that, mentally Liverpool looked tired. That's a little bit of a concern for me when Jurgen Klopp say mentally they look tired. Physically they look tired, and I can understand that. Mentally I can understand it because of what's going on in the world and stuff like that. That aim at the base, it didn't work, and I think that's why James Milner goes back there and Gini Wijnaldum substituted. I don't think he offered enough for us. I don't think he had enough passes. He wasn't controlling the tempo of the game enough for us from that 6th position today. And Liverpool, as I said earlier, when they get into the midfield, it just became slow, pedestrian. There was no tempo to Liverpool's midfield performance tonight. When we did have those very rare opportunities to quickly get the ball forwards, we took our time, we laboured on the ball, and we weren't fizzing the ball into feet often enough. And when we did actually do that, the touch wasn't good enough, or it bounced off, or the ball wasn't good enough. And Gini Wijnaldum, I had to give a 6, but I can see that he's actually been given a 5. So yeah, there you go. We're moving on then next of all for Thiago, and I thought from the 3 midfielders, I thought Thiago was the best. And I saw loads of comments actually. No goals or assists or anything from Thiago so far. He was trying to make things happen. We tried that ball where he fakes it outside and plays it sort of forwards. He tried it a few times and it nearly came off a few times, and sometimes, as I say, the touch wasn't there for the other players. But he tried to inject a bit of pace early on. He's going past the man, dinking it, getting to the edge of the area and stuff like that. But he must be wondering who the hell he signed for, because this isn't the Liverpool that knocked Bayern Munich out of the Champions League a couple of years ago. This isn't the Liverpool that have harried and pressed teams to death over the course of the last 2 years. This is just a dead slow, lumbering Liverpool side at the moment, and obviously the injuries are there and stuff like that, but top player, crap performance from the midfield for me. And I can see now that Thiago Alcantara has been given a 6. I'd definitely give him upwards. I'd definitely have given him a 7 personally. But anyway, James Milner, we are opening the poll up for next. This man looked tired to me, and it's not surprising at his age. The 4 games inside 2 weeks, and twice a week he's playing at the moment, and I'm surprised he played the 90 minutes. I was surprised after the hamstring thing from the West Ham game that he started the game. I thought Curtis Jones deserved the opportunity. I thought Curtis Jones actually should have been brought into this game earlier when Ox was brought on. I thought Curtis Jones was probably the call in the middle of the park there to inject a little bit of something to us, but James Milner's in there and he drops into the 6, and yeah, a bang average game today. I don't think he had that. I don't think he had anything left in the tank to be able to play that position like he did against West Ham and like he did the game before. It was just he stuck to that left-hand side a little bit, and we were a little bit rigid in our midfield performance. When James Milner's at his best, he's popping up here, he's popping up there, and it was more just sort of in and around this area tonight for James Milner. And yeah, but pretty poor game, to be honest with you. And I can see that there's a few 4s have been coming in, lots of 5s have been coming in, and a few 6s. I'd probably given him a 6 out of 10 personally, but you guys have given him a 5 out of 10, and we do go with the wisdom of the crowds on this show, so he's got a 5 out of 10. We're going to move it on then to Shaqiri, and I I think I've just got one note written down for Shaqiri, to be honest with you, and it was, what was the point? Because I can't work out what he was supposed to do today. I can't work out why he was on the field for as long as he was. I can't work out why he was played that left wing position. You can point back to the Barcelona game, I get it, a couple of years ago, from that left hand side. That wasn't a performance that we got out of him with the Barcelona game. It was a nothing performance for me. I just thought it was just a waste of a football player on the pitch tonight. And I don't think he's a bad player. I just want to get that straight. I think he had a bad performance. I think he was good against West Ham for the most part. I think he's been good for the most part when he's played this season. That was a nothing performance for me from Xherdan Shaqiri, and probably one of the most disappointing lads on the night for me as well, because I expected a little bit more. You know, did he do anything? Like, was there any little slide rule through balls like the Jota one from a few weeks ago? Was he linking up play with Bobby Firmino? What was he there for? What was he supposed to have been doing? Because I just couldn't see it, to be honest with you, whatever it was supposed to be. And he gets a 4 out of 10. We'll move on then next to Bobby Firmino. So we're going to open up the poll for him now. Again, another disappointing performance for Bobby, and he's obviously substituted late on in the game for Curtis Jones, isn't he? His touch didn't seem to be there. Again, he was missing Mane. He wasn't able to link up with Mo Salah in the way that he's normally able to. Maybe he was dropping a little bit deep at times. Maybe he was staying a little bit too high at times. Just seemed to be making positionally the wrong decisions. And it goes for a lot of these players, actually. You know, think about Jordan Henderson towards the end of the game, driving forward, static. Whoever was on the field at the time, static. Just not enough movement. There was a little bit of movement early on. It seemed to be one of the midfield three. But for the most part, we were static across the board, and we wonder why the low block's working. Well, you've got to pull players around if you want to get past the defence and a midfield that are going to sit in and make it difficult for you and you know, cluster themselves into that space and make it tough. Liverpool didn't do enough of that tonight, and for me, Bobby Firmino was too static. He wasn't able to link his mates up, and it was a poor performance for me. I mean, I'd have given Shaqiri a 5. You guys give him a 4. I'd have given Roberto Firmino a 5, and I can see that with 46 votes as opposed to 44, he gets a 5 out of 10, just squeaking past the 4 out of 10 mark. So we're going to open up the vote next for Mohamed Salah. Salah, he kept on trying. I'll give him his credit. I mean, he missed that sort of golden opportunity early on in the game, didn't he? And he has another one where he can't get the ball out of his feet inside the penalty area and stuff like that. And, you know, he cuts a frustrated figure at times. I think this is one of those games where, you know, he'll be frustrated with what's going on around him because he's just not getting enough opportunities. Although I still think he probably should have slotted that one in the first few minutes and stuff. But from the front three, I think he was the best of a bad bunch. I don't think it was a good performance. That doesn't mean I thought it was a good performance. It smacked of a 6 out of 10 performance for me from Mo Salah. And the game could have been so different if he does take that, but we can't sit here and moan that because you've got to keep trying. You've got to keep trying to exploit Brighton. You've got to keep trying to get in behind, and he's just not winning. I know he has a really good game against West Ham and stuff. He's just not winning those one-on-ones with left-backs often enough over the last few weeks, is he? You know, when you want him to be part of the team, I thought first 15 minutes he did a good job with that. Thought he was linking up with Trent, it was going by him at times and stuff like that. But as the game went on, he drifted more and more inside and wanted to be that finisher and not link up and just get on the end of things. I don't think that helped us, especially when we were being so static at that time as well. So he gets a 6 out of 10. Oxlade-Chamberlain, no idea, mate. No idea. I don't know why Curtis Jones wasn't brought on in that game. Touch wasn't really there. He had that one shot, as he always does, from distance that goes over the bar, which seems like something that he always does at the moment. And I understand playing him from the sense of he does need to get back up to fitness, and he does need to match fitness specifically. But yeah, it just didn't work again, did it? And taking Gini off and moving Milner and that little momentum that we probably did have at the start of the second half after conceding the goal and all that type of stuff, it just didn't work. The double substitution for me, I don't get it. The Ox one, the Origi one for Shaqiri, I kind of get, but you know, he's not in fine form at the moment, Origi, is he? It was a brave move, should I say, to bring on Ox and Origi, but ultimately it was not a fruitful move to bring on those two substitutes. And yeah, I can see that Ox has got a 4 out of 10. I think that might be a touch harsh personally. But just a touch, not too much. So next was Origi anyway for Shaqiri. Crap, to be quite honest with you. Just crap. I don't know what he did. I genuinely, and there's too many of that. There's too much of that tonight. I said the same as Shaqiri, said the same for Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'll say the same for Origi. I don't see the point. I'm not sure what we were expecting, because he's not looked like he's going to bag a goal. So to bring him on with, what was it, I don't know, was it 35 or 25 minutes or 30 minutes to go? I don't know. Like, I can see he's been given a 1 out of 10, so I'm just going to take over that one, because I really don't think that's fair. So I'm gonna give him a 4 out of 10. And I'd give him a 5. I'd very rarely go lower than a 5, though, to be perfectly honest. So, just so you know that I very much rate like the old Championship Manager 0102 system. 6 is standard, 5's a terrible game, 4's fucking atrocious, 3's a once a year thing. So I'm gonna give Origi a 4, and I'm gonna base that on the fact that Shaqiri got a 4 and Oxlade-Chamberlain got a 4, and I'm not sure he was any worse than those two players. So I'm going to rate this properly on what you guys have rated the rest of the side, because I don't think one's fair and it doesn't do him any favours. And Kurt Jones, he comes on, and you know what, for Kurt Jones, I mean, that's it. He didn't get much of an opportunity, did he? The game's done. It doesn't feel like we're ever going to break them down at that point. I mean, you know, the last 10 minutes was pathetic from a Liverpool side looking to try and get a goal and salvage a point at Anfield against a team that's fourth from bottom or whatever. And yeah, for me, Kurt Jones was very much a 6 out of 10 performance. I don't think he did enough bad to warrant getting a 5. Don't think he did enough well to warrant getting any more than a 6. And I can see already with 30 seconds to go, it's lots of 5s and 6s. So let's just call it there, because I want to delve into this in a bit more detail with Ben, to be honest with you. I want to get a few things off my chest and stuff like that, because that's not good enough for Liverpool Football Club tonight. It's really not. And as I draw it to a close, he just about gets a 6 out of 10. Listen, thank you everyone for getting involved with the player ratings, as always. Yeah, we're going to do the instant match reaction next. Yeah, me and Ben have got a few things to get off our chest. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that Minamino one. So thank you very much for the super chat as well. It means a lot to us. We'll pick that one up in the next show. Thank you very much for watching, and stick around on the channel for the instant match reaction. It promises to be a good one. We'll see you soon. Ta-ra.
Thank you so much for watching the Redmen TV YouTube channel. Everything we do here is funded by our wonderful subscribers to the redmentv.com. Get over there, sign up and get amazing additional content, interviews, documentaries, mini-series, and of course additional pre and post match day content.